Hi, good morning. Here we are with a little Easter chick because yes, the year is counting down and already in the supermarkets we have Easter eggs. Oh, it's a nightmare. I'm trying to desperately cut down and they've put cream eggs out. My absolute nemesis. I'm terrible for them. But we're not going to work with cream eggs today. We're going to go with our favourite chocolate orange again. Now, you can see we've got a little chick here. And he's sat in sort of an eggshell. That's what I tried to make it look like. Anyway, I am going to change it slightly for the tutorial because as much as I made this one, I feel the eggshell should be a little bit higher. So I will tell you to make it so it is that little bit higher. So we need double knit yarn. I have my sparkle, of course I like my sparkle, but just a white, a yellow, and the orange. That's only for the beak. If you've got a bit of embroidery cotton, that would do for that. So we'll move that. Obviously my scissors. We have my 3.5mm crochet hook, my favourite hook, and we have some 6mm safety eyes and a little bit of toy stuffing just for the head bit. That's all you need that for. It's not a lot. So we're going to get on with it. I'm going to move most of that out the way. I'll move the eyes so I don't lose them. In fact, I've already lost part. There it is. I've already lost that bit. Doesn't take much. And we're going to get on with his head first. Easy bit first. I'm really hoping I've got enough yarn here. I was looking at it and I'm like, oh, no, there will be. There will be. It's amazing how much yarn there is. It's always that sort of thing when you're trying to finish something and there's this little tiny weeny ball and you're thinking, oh, it's going to run out. And it doesn't quite often. Most of the time we're okay. So we're going to start slip knot on the hook. The only thing is when the wool's like this, it goes all over the place as well. And we're going to start with our 2 chain. I must be careful not to knock this stand. And into that first chain, we have our 6 double crochets. Remembering I'm UK terms here. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Tighten that slip knot up, and we're going to do, like we quite often do, 2 double crochets into every single one of those crochets. So if you're not sure where number 1 is, count from the back. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, because sometimes it does look like there's another one there and it's not, so I always count from the back to make sure. So we have 2 in each, remember, so that's 2 of them, that's 3 of them, 4, so going back in the same stitch, 5 and 6. We now have 12 stitches. I'm tightening that again. So now I want 2 in each again, so we will end up with 24 stitches. I'm flicking the eyes about here as well with the yarn. Let me just move them a bit further. Right, I think we're okay now. So 2 in each again. So 1, there's 2 in that one, 2 in this one, that's the 3rd one, 4th, 5th, I've just realised something I haven't got out, it'll be okay, 6th, 7th, only a couple more to go, 8, 9, the yarn's going to annoy me. That was 9, wasn't it? I hope so. Otherwise I'll have an extra stitch. That's 10, 11, and 12. Please remember, if I am going a little bit fast, you can slow me down in the settings to watch what I'm doing with the stitches. But unfortunately, it does slow my voice down, so it does sound a little bit silly. Excuse me, I'm going to cough. Oh, I don't know where that came from. A little bit of a dry throat there. So we now have 24 stitches. The thing I've just suddenly gone, I haven't got is a stitch marker, but I have my tin here. So we will find one. I only need quite a small one, I think, for this. I'll use my tiny, there's a tiny weeny jug there. I'll use that one. Because we're only going to do a couple of rounds, but while I'm talking, it's easier for me to have the stitch marker in, and then you don't have to sort of think about it. So we're going to do 4 rounds. So again, if you're wanting to stop, if you're wanting to fast forward, we are going to just do 4 double crochet rounds. That's all we're doing. So our first round is to start shaping the head around. There we go. Oh, not quite. There we are. very pleased to see I have 350 subscribers. Yay! Thank you very much to those of you who have subscribed. It does mean a lot, because I don't know whether people are aware that any subscriber under 1,000 subscribers and X amount of hours, which is 4,000 hours watch time, don't get a penny. So please support your sort of local crafter, your local creator is the word, isn't it? Because they are doing it for the love of it. Would be nice to be earning a bit of money, but at the moment it's going to be a lot of for the love of it. Right, we're going to carry on. That was our first round. I have my pen and paper there ready. In fact, I'm going to do that because I'm going to forget. So that was one. I know a lot of people have this illusion that as soon as you start a YouTube channel that you're going to be rich and famous. It's not quite like that. There's a lot of hard work. I mean, I was completely new into it. It's never something I've done. So I had to learn all the technology side of it as well. So there's been a lot of learning. I've enjoyed it, thoroughly enjoying it. But yeah, there is this sort of illusion that, you know, some of them are lucky enough to get sort of instant success. But like with anything, I think you should be working at it. And I think you enjoy it a little bit more. We're nearly around on our second one. I certainly don't think I'd have, you know, of course I want success. Everybody wants success. But if it had gone too fast, I wouldn't have understood some of the things. I still don't understand some of the things on YouTube. It's not an easy thing to do. And like I say, I think people have an illusion of what it is, which is a bit of a shame for those out there that are trying sort of to build up. But yeah, the subscribers are important. So if you do enjoy what I do, I would be very grateful if you did subscribe. That would be very good of you. You don't have to get the notifications if you don't want to hear them all the time. The little bell in the corner is for notifications. So for those who do want to see what people do regular, that is what they need to click on. But thank you very much for those of you who have spent the time to watch. And I hope you have enjoyed my tutorials. And obviously not just my tutorials, my dolly pages as well. Look, you see his little head shaping? That was number 3. We just want one more. Just one more. And his head's done. Didn't take long, did it? We're going to pop the safety eyes in. You could have done it all in one with the head and the body. The reason I haven't is because then the stuffing gets difficult. And this would have sort of just been sort of soft. And it would have sort of collapsed a little bit. So I have done it separate because I did want also putting the safety eyes in. It's easier if it's this way around. I wanted to sort of make it so it was solid. Because the thing is, when you take them off the chocolate oranges, they can almost stand alone. You might need to pop some tissue in or something like that to hold them up. But or maybe another chocolate orange or something, or an apple or something. Right, we are round. That is our 4 rounds. So I'm going to just do a slip stitch. I don't always do it, but I have done it today. And snip. Oh, and we're done. I should have left that a little bit longer though, because I've now created myself a problem because I need to sew it on to his body. So leave that longer. It's not really a problem, but it's just an extra thing to sew in, that's all. So we get rid of our stitch marker. Let's grab our little eyes. And let's decide how you want them. Now it's up to you. You can have his eyes very close together. You can have them very wide apart. This one's sort of quite wide apart. Let's have a look what it looks like together. That's sort of quite cute. You could have a little beak there. In fact, I might do that. I'll keep his eyes closer together on this one. Now, all safety eyes are different, but the particular ones I have a sort of like a bow to them. And that sort of bow up comes towards you, if that makes any sense. It doesn't at all, does it? Right, make sure you read your instructions because they are all different. And I'm going to push down 1, 2, 3. Mine usually click. Again, different eyes. Make sure you are buying good quality ones though, because it does make a big difference because they can snap. Right, we go. 1, 1, 2. There we go. So I've got his little eyes. There he is. He sort of looks quite cute with 2 little close eyes. Let's say a little bit different to the other one, but that's the beauty of them. You can pop your personality into the designs. Right, I'm going to pop him there. I'm going to take this one off. Let's see how he does stand. Let's see, he does sort of, he stands quite well. So you could have him just sat on the side then as a little ornament after you've eaten your orange. So we'll leave in there, and we're going to start. I've took it out because I want to sort of show you sort of the measurement around the orange. Those of you who have done a few with me, you will recognise it as approximately the same to start with. There is some differences. So slip knot as always onto the hook. I'll move that so you can see this a bit better. And we're going to start with our 2 chain. 1 and 2, and we're going to do predictably 6 double crochets into that first chain. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. It is a simple pattern as the others. The only issue that will come in is this, because we're going to be doing a little bit of front loop, back loop crochet here. It's not hard, but it can be a little bit fiddly to actually do if you've not done it before. We're now going to do 2 double crochets into each of these 6 to give us our 12. So we have 1, 2, dog's woofing at something, 3, 4, 5. She's grumbling. I can just hear her outside the door. It's probably because I've shut the door so she can't get in. She normally sat in here with me, but if I'm usually doing a video I shut the door because otherwise we have a little cat that decides she's joining in and causing havoc. So I've shut the door, so the dog's probably not very happy with me. We're going to do a 2 in each again. So like before, it's exactly the same as the head. We're going to do 2 in each to give us 24. So 2 in each of these 12. That's 1, 2. I'm hoping I'm a little bit closer than I have been before, because somebody did ask me if I could get it a little bit closer. Was that 4? Was that 5? I don't know. Stop talking. It does help. I'm going to go with 6. Doesn't make that much difference. 7, 8, 9. It's hard to keep central. That's the problem. 10. Sure, I feel like I've been on that number for ages. 11 and 1 more. This should give us our 12. Tighten it up. We have 1 more row that's going to be an increased row, but I'm going to pop my stitch marker in now because it's very easy to lose count. As I say, especially if you're talking. If you're nice and quiet, you could probably do it without, but it just saves a lot of hassle or sudden panic going, I don't know how many I've done. Right, we're going to do 2 double crochets in the first stitch, 1 double crochet in the stitch after that, and they're going to alternate that. So it's going to be 2 in 1, 1 in 1, 2 in 1 all the way around till we get back to that stitch marker. So off we go. Just noticed my daughter was trying to call me then, so she'll know what I'm doing. They're told if I ignore them, it's because I'm usually doing something like this, because usually I answer the phone really well. All the way around. You'll feel it does feel like it's going a bit sort of wavy at this point. Don't worry about that. That is fine. It will straighten out. But we do need this quantity of stitches. We should end up with 36 stitches. So it's just 2 in 1, 1 in the next one. If you think I'm going a little bit fast, sometimes the best thing to do is, because I've said it's 2 in 1, 1 in the next one, is grab a bit of paper and write that down. Pause me, and then you do your round and then come back to it. Or if you're a little unsure, because this is amigurumi style, you can pop on my sort of beginner's amigurumi and it will show you. I did 2 and 2 then, didn't I? So that's what happens when you're talking. Look, can you see I've done 2? 2, 2, 2. Right back to there. Right, that's a 1 now. That's okay. We would have ended up with a very large chocolate orange. I'd have been doing it for an Easter egg. I don't know about a chocolate orange. So that's a single one. This one's a 2. Next one's a 1. And I'm going to do that all the way around. Like I said, the beauty of crochet, it's really easy to undo. It's not the end of the world if you do a couple of stitches wrong. Can you see how it's going wavy? This is what I'm saying, don't worry about it, that's fine. So if yours is going wavy and you're sort of panicking a little bit, it will do that. Right, I'm going to say I'm round, but like I say, you can see the wavy bits. That's fine, that's okay, don't worry about it. We're going to use our stitch marker now because all we're going to do is DC rounds. Now I'd originally said, I've written down that I would have done, well, I got 5, 6, 7, I would have done 8 rounds before I changed to white. I'm going to bring that down because I want it higher this time, so we'll go for 7. You can do obviously whatever you decide. You could do it lower. You don't even have to do the eggshell bit. You could just go all the way down and just carry on with just DC rounds until you've got the sort of full chocolate orange covered. So it's up to you really, but I will show you how to do it. So this is our first of our 7. So we are doing 7 before we change our colour. And then we will do one round, should I say, in the white, and then I will show you the front loop, back loop. It's a handy technique to use for a few things. When I taught myself to crochet, because I am self-taught, I was back looping everything because I didn't know otherwise, and I wondered why all my crochet had a ridge in it and everybody else's was nice and flat that I could see. Because also when I taught, I was pre-YouTube, so I couldn't sort of pop on YouTube to have a look. I had a video. God, video, I'm showing my age now. I had a video that had just come out with this collection, and I tried to watch that, and I struggled for a long time. I did not find it easy to crochet. I know my mum had tried to teach me years and years and years ago. I mean, probably about 12ish, and she just gave up. She basically I couldn't hold it properly, and I think that is the first thing I learned. It doesn't matter how you hold your hook. I know a lot of people do hold it like me, but not everybody does. Right, I'm marking down my rounds as I go now, so don't forget that pen and paper. It makes a massive difference. So I'm on my second one. But yeah, as far I held it different to her, so then that made it hard for her to teach me how to crochet, because she wanted me to hold it a certain way. I mean, people are either sort of holding this way or they hold this way, or a lot of people hold it sort of like in a knitter's position, which I can't do, but it doesn't matter. They actually get the same results, so don't worry about it. However you hold, as long as you get your crochet at the end of it, that's all that matters. Again, if I'm going a little bit too fast, please slow me down in the settings. It's like a little cog, and when you click on that cog, there's various things like speed, and you can speed it up if you want. Then I will sound silly, but you can alter it. Or the best thing to do is, if you're not sure, I've said we're doing 7 rounds, pop it on pause, get your pen and paper and do your 7 rounds, and come back to me when I actually change the colour. It's really hard to know. I know I have mentioned it before, to do with the speed. I've checked out what other people have done with their videos to see whether perhaps I'm doing something wrong, and to be honest, some of them actually even speed it up. So I don't know which is right or wrong. This seems to be going okay. I know a couple of people have said I'm a little bit fast, but at least you can slow me down if you have to. I think I'll be okay with this wool. I'm just looking how much is left. There's quite a bit actually. So I'm on my 3rd round already. They're just double crochet rounds, just 1 double crochet in every single crochet. That's about as complicated as this bit gets. I've got to behave with that chocolate orange. I'm desperate to eat it. I am going to be good. I'm trying so hard to be good. So I've got to lose a little bit of weight, whether I like it or not, whether it's something I agree with or not, because I need some surgery on my foot, and I'm borderline for referral. So although I'm a little confused, apparently it's a new rule that's come in. It's literally like £2 or £3 over what they're wanting, so it shouldn't take long. But I'm just going to try and be a bit healthier for a while. But I love Easter. I love my chocolate for Easter. That's really bad, but I do love Easter eggs. It tastes better as an Easter egg. That's another round. I'm going to move the stitch marker up now, because it does feel like it's sort of, I'm struggling to sort of line it up, because obviously our position does slightly move because we're working on a spiral base. So Make sure you keep moving your stitch markers up. Could have used a bigger stitch marker now. I got a lovely little rabbit one out that I was going to use, because obviously that was 1, 2. I was looking at something on my phone. I thought a notification had come up. Oh, it has. Is it top? And a half treble, miss 1, double crochet front loop, next one, double crochet front loop, miss 1, treble combination, 1, 3 trebles, 1, 2, 3, half treble. Now miss 1, you see we're at the end actually, 2 and 2, and you've done. But now what we've got to do is work in those back loops. So if you turn it over, they're going to be in the way. If you want to sew them in, it might help. Can you see how there's a ridge formed? It's like a little ridge. Those are your back loops that you left behind. So you need to make sure there is a ridge all the way around, because that is where we're going to crochet into next. So let's move that out of the way, because that's going to annoy me. In fact, I'll just stuff it inside there. It might not be in the way so much. And I'm going to sort of just fold that down so I can see where my stitches are, and I'm going to jump to the first one I can see comfortably as a back loop, and I'm going to do a double crochet. Next one, double crochet. There's one there. There should be one to match each one that you did on the other side. This is where you'll know if you've missed any front loops, because you'll not have a back loop to go into. So I'm just picking up every single one of these back loops. I'll try and go slower for a little bit. I'm hoping you can see that clear enough. Perhaps the sparkly yarn wasn't a good idea. Looks pretty, but it can be a little distraction when trying to demonstrate. So I'm just keeping this flat and folded down, and it helps me see where that stitch is. After you got past this round, all it is double crochet rounds. It's just this one that you just have to be careful with, and making sure you are picking up every single one of those back loops that you left from that previous round. You'll see why in a second when we get all the way around. So we are going to be slightly longer with this video. We are on 35 minutes now, but there's not a huge amount to do. I've wobbled it again, haven't I? I think I might invest in a different stand. Might help my angle as well, because this one has to sort of come over my shoulder and it's not very sort of comfortable for sitting. We're nearly round. So it's been just 1 double crochet in every single one of those back loops, and I will put a description for the front loop, and I might mention the back loop. As you get to this point, you feel like it might cross over a little bit, but it's still there. You just have to sort of fold it back a little bit more. Right, I'm round. So now, can you see what it's done? It's pushed that up and given us a new round that matches up with this. So it gives us slightly more 3D, which is quite a nice way of doing it. We are now going to go just double crochet rounds until you have covered your chocolate orange. Now, I'd originally got it at 4, but because I've taken it up 1, I'm imagining I'm going to be around 5, but we're going to keep checking. So, first one's hard to get into because of the crossover. There we are. Are you in? We're in. I've split it a little bit, but it'll be okay. So, says me. Perhaps if I'd not split it, it would have helped. Let's take it back. Best to take it back. I don't know why I even tried doing that. Right, that's better. It's not split now. So you might still have to flatten that down as you're working, but as soon as you get past this round, it'll sit flat anyway. So this is just 1 double crochet into every double crochet. And this is forming the eggshell. I mean, you didn't need to go through any of that fuss if you were just doing a yellow check. You could have just carried on until it fitted over your chocolate orange. I'm going to do a little check after we've got round this round, see how it's sitting. I think it is better the shell higher though. Just sort of looking at it, it just feels better, as if, you know, the chicken's got a little bit more of a shell to get out of. And if you wanted, you could make some little legs so it looks like they're sticking out to the bottom of the shell. There's lots of different variations you could do on it. Alright, I'm round now. This is my round 1 after doing the back loop. So I will write it down just out of curiosity to see where we get to. Let's try on our little orange now. Yeah, I prefer that because it's sort of higher up, but as you can see, we've still got a few rounds. I reckon that could be 4 or 5. Not 100% sure. If you push it on a bit better, it might be a bit less. Let's see how that goes. In theory, it should be 5 because I think I did 4 on this one after that round, and I've taken it up a round, so it should be 5. But we will see. Again, it may depend on your tension. If your tension's looser, you may need less. If you're tighter, you're not going to be getting on the orange, so you may need to increase your hook size. That's another option, because the problem being is all yarns are different. They might say they're double knit or they might say they're 4-ply, but the amount of them that are actually different thicknesses within that same range sometimes is a bit irritating. But if you keep to a certain brand, you'll find you'll know sort of what your tension is. On average, if I'm using a double knit yarn, I'm using a Stylecraft yarn. The sparkle isn't a Stylecraft, it's a King Cole, but the yellow is a Stylecraft. And I know both of those brands, they're pretty standard for my sort of tension level. If you do buy some of the cheaper ones, for some reason I find them to be a little bit thicker. I don't know why, sort of a bit sort of thicker to use. And so obviously you're going to get a slightly different one there. It's nice to get a bargain. It's not always a good idea to buy cheap wool. Sometimes I have got some cheap wool. I've even had some from the pound shop and it's been okay. But again, don't be fooled into that. They do a thing where it's 3 balls for £2. You think, oh, fabulous. But they are only 50-gram balls, so please be careful, because obviously you go into another shop and buy a 100-gram ball for not a great deal more, and it's 100 grams. That's the difference. And also it will be a better quality yarn to actually use. But sometimes you do get offers. It's same with hooks. Don't buy cheap hooks. It doesn't work. They don't have the same point and the same shaping around sort of the hook end, because there is shaping to it if you look at it closely. Well, there should be shaping to it if you look at it closely. And it does make a difference for sort of grabbing the wool and pulling it through, and ease of movement through the stitch as well. So you don't have to pay a lot of money. Because I mean, I'm not bothered about the handles or anything. There's some really good ones that do help people sort of if they have problems with their hands. I personally find them a little cumbersome. I have a couple, but they don't suit me, even though I do have problems with my hands. So, you know, each to their own on that. But this pointy bit is the important bit. The handle, as long as it's comfortable for you, is fine. Almost there. Oh, you can see it coming now. So that's 3 rounds. I reckon it will be 5. So let's keep going. So we've only got 2 more rounds and we've actually finished. So to be honest, what we're looking, oh, we are on 42 minutes. This is a long video. But some of it, as you know, you can fast forward. So at this point, for example, I'm telling you we have 5 rounds after that back loop round. So you can just sort of fast forward, pause, whatever you want to do. keep checking on your chocolate orange and then come back to see if there's anything else you need information wise. But if you've done these with me before, you probably don't really need that much. Shall we have a look? I might actually have a look how that fits with 4. Just to sort of speed things up for you guys. I can always add that extra rounding later if I wanted to. I just want to show you the wing. I'll just show you one wing because obviously they're both the same, but they take minutes for the wings. So I'll be back to my yellow then. I said I'd finish with the yellow, but I haven't ever. He needs wings. Almost there. I mean, I don't really need the stitch marker because you can sort of see where that join was where you do the back loop bit, but I've left it in there. Let's have a look. I actually think another round would be a good idea. If you put him straight, it'd help, just to sort of take it down a bit further. But I'm going to leave it at that. It's about the same width actually as that, so yeah, one more round would have been about right. So I'm going to leave it at that just for sort of demonstration purposes. So we can take this stitch marker out and we need to do a quick wing. Don't need the stitch marker for the wing because there is not many rounds to it. In fact, there is only 2. Slip knot, and it's just like starting the top of his head or the top of his body. So we're going to do our 2 chain. We are going to do our 6 double crochets in, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Then we're going to do 2 double crochets in each of the 6. You can make him bigger wings if you want, but I thought they look cute, the little ones. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. I'm going to do my last one as a slip stitch just to make sure it's smooth. Pull that tight. That's enough, and you've got a wing. That's it. I've not done a fancy wing, but you can see it's just a little round wing. So for the actual sewing up, which I think we need to look at now, because I can finish the other bit off. If you wanted to do a couple more rounds on that, you can do. We have our head. Now this bit can just be tucked in. We have a bit of stuffing, but I'm not going to put it in straight away because I find it hard to stitch if the stuffing's on. So basically, we're going to pop him in place. As you can see, that looks quite adorable. I'm quite pleased with him. But you know what I said about cutting that longer, because ideally I could have used that for stitching all the way round, which would have saved me having an extra end to sew in, but I didn't, did I? So I do want to sew his head on because I do want to sort of go through the details for that. And again, I'm doing it with the needles that I haven't put out. Right, I don't think this is going to be, can you see this needle I got? We could try it. I got this out of one of my advent calendars. It's a rather large one. I usually like a real fine one. I think this is going to be too big. I'm trying to see if I can see where my needles are from there. I might have to pause and come back, because I think what I like to do is decide which line I am following for stitching and follow that round all the way. I am going to go for that one, which seems a bit wide for his head, but it pulls it down a little bit. So for example, we will try it with this needle. Actually, it's not too bad. Because I'm using a double knit yarn, it's not too bad. I like a finer one. So I'm just picking up top loop and then underneath loop. Top loop, underneath loop. It'd be an idea if I had it you see what I've done? I've just sort of squashed that down, and it just means I can see it properly then. But I'm choosing a round to follow. You see how it's stitching quite neatly there. So in and into that one, in, into that one. Actually, you know, it's not a bad needle. I quite like the curve on it. I've never used one like that before. It is way too chunky for some of the work I do, but it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Be great for sort of just double knits, etc. I say I certainly wouldn't use it for some of the wools I've got. I certainly wouldn't use it for my 4-plays. Like you see, I'm going to run out. Rookie error. Shouldn't have done that. Right, we'll go to about there. Right, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat a little bit. So, poor little thing's got a squashed head at the moment, but let's get a little bit of stuff in. You don't need a lot. Obviously, you stuff in before you finish it off. In fact, that's probably too much as well. So you decide sort of how fat you want his little head. I think that's quite cute. You will continue stitching it down then, which I'm not going to do because I've made a mess of that bit. And without restarting it, it's going to take us too long. But you can see where the head is actually fitting. Now, this one's got some little tufts on the top. And all the tufts are, I cut 3 pieces of yarn, probably too long. It's best to have it longer and then you can cut it shorter. Now this new needle will be great for this actually, because you're going to be threading 3 pieces of yarn and that's not always easy. Yep, so they're through. Leave that nice and long there. I'm just going to pop it through his head, through the centre, pull it through. It's a bit chunky, this needle. I think it's causing me a problem now. Thought it might help and it's actually made it worse. Right, that should be okay. Careful. Right, take the needle out. So you should end up with one end of loops and one end of these. So you push them through, pull it tight, make sure that keeps it nice and neat. You have to pull the individual stitches sometimes to make sure it's flat. There we go, because it was that one there. It will be central when the rest of his head is stitched down. So you can see he's got that. Just cut off to the length required. And what I've actually done with this one is I've separated, can you see, if you just separate the strands, you see, it just allows it to be a little bit curly. So we just pop the needle in and separate, needle in, separate. There. So it gives him a bit of a fluff. So obviously he looks a bit lopsided because we've not stitched his head down. When his head's down, you can see the shaping that you've got there. I think he looks quite cute. Oh, bless him. And his head sewing down. I will do it as soon as the video's finished. I'm just going to grab a little bit of the orange. And again, the needle might be a bit bulky for this. I can't believe I've not put my needles out. But I know where they are, but it would, knowing me, I'm going to knock the camera over and everything if I'm doing it. Oh, that's not going to stay. Right, so I'm going to go in. Again, because this is a chunky needle, it's not as fine. This is why fine needles are definitely better. In we go. And it pulled all the way through. That didn't work. Make sure the knot is bigger next time. Right. I've done it again. Right, I'm going to make a bigger knot. Watch, bigger knot, bigger knot. But I don't even think that. It's going inside his head, so you're not going to see the knot. So it can be quite a large knot. Right, we are going to get a beak. You're going to have a beak, bless you. Right. I'm going to go in and across. Yep. His eyes are narrower, so I've got to make a slightly smaller beak for this one. Yep. And back in there. Push it through and let's have a look. Fingers crossed it's going to work. Let's see. There he is. He looks like he's got a smiley face. I don't know about a beak, but again, if I'd sewn his head on, it would have been easier to position. So I'm going to leave it at that because obviously it's going to sort of take the videos really long, and sort of I think you can work the rest out that you're doing. We're going to just stitch our little wing on there. I don't want to make the videos too long for people because they do get bored. So stitching a little wing on. Obviously we need a wing for the other side. And ultimately, let's pop our original guy on the chocolate orange. There he is. Coming at you. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you're going to have a go and you're going to get some Easter chickies out there ready for Easter. If you did enjoy what I've done today and you do want to see more, as I mentioned earlier in the video, click on the notification bell and subscribe, like and share. That would be great for other people, hopefully see if they like what I'm doing, and hope to see you very soon. See you later. Bye.